Hello everyone, this is my first video using Python. I think we should start from something very easy like the turtle module and learn more along the way. So this is a Japanese pattern called shippou-mon, and means like seven treasures, and I kind of like it, and I guess it's very easy to create this kind of stuff with turtle. So I'm just gonna go to my VS Code and see what we can do. So we're here. I'm just gonna toggle the terminal. You can use any terminal you want, but I'm just gonna use PowerShell with Windows PowerShell, I mean, and yeah. So I'm just gonna make it bigger so you can see. So I'm just gonna create a folder. So I'm gonna make a directory and then just call it Japanese patterns if you want. And I'm just gonna go to this Japanese patterns. And if you want to open the VS Code in the same location from here, it's these you can just type code and dot and R, and I guess the R is for recent, so it's just gonna reload and open the VS Code in the directory you are. So as you can see, we're here, and let's go back to my terminal. So I'm just gonna create a file, a Python file, to write the script. So you can do that with code dot and the name of the file. Let's call it shippou-mon, since this is the name of the pattern, and just press enter. As you can see, we get the file created in your VS Code, but it's not saved yet. So what we want to do is press Ctrl S to save it. So I'm just gonna close my terminal again because I don't need it, and Ctrl B to close the sidebar so we get more real estate. So I'm just gonna zoom out with the Ctrl plus. And first thing first, so I'm gonna just import my turtle, and we're gonna use some variables to draw the arches. So let me go to the here and show you. So this is a pic of the design, and as you can see, there's a little gap between the small arches and the big arches, but it's not actually a big arch. It's like the same arch from the other one next to it. Like if you can see, this arch is from this arch, so it's all a small arch, but there's a little gap between them. So I'm just gonna call the big one 2R, I mean R, and the small one IR because it's smaller. I'm just gonna set like the 9th of the big one to make it easy, and you can change it as you want. As you can see here, I draw another one, so make it easy to understand. So this arch and this arch are the same R, which is gonna call it IR, and the big distance, which is not really an R, is gonna be like the big R. So let me go back to my terminal, to my VS Code. I'm just gonna set some variables. I'm just gonna call R, set it to 100, IR, set it to 0.9. So you can change it whenever you want. I'm just gonna need a RGB background color for the green area. So I'm just gonna call it background color. So UGC is gonna give it like a tuple, 1958. I mean 85, 58. So I'm just gonna go down and create my screen. Let's have an area for a screen, and I'm just gonna call it. For that, I'm just gonna call the give it a turtle a title. So a turtle title, capital. No. Title. I'm just gonna call it shippou-mon pattern if you want, and I'm gonna call the screen WN, and it's gonna be turtle screen with the capital and bracket, and WN screen mode, because we're gonna use the RGB, so we need to set the color mode to 255, otherwise you can get an error, and set the screen color to background color to BGC that we have created in the variable, so BGC, and I want my screen to be like the maximum of this monitor, so I'm just gonna set up. That's how you do it. Point. I mean, you can use either one, just one dot and dot, or 1.0. Also gonna create my turtle, and I'm just gonna go down and call it T. It's gonna be turtle with the big turtle, and I'm just gonna call it give it shape, because I think it's cute. And here I'm just gonna give it a color directly with a name, so white, and I think that's it. I'm just gonna also set the turtle to done, so we can keep the screen on. So just go turtle and done, and let's see. Here we are. So we have the title, we have the turtle in the middle, and the color. So let me close this. Let me minimize my. So I'm gonna go back here. Just define function to make it easy. I'm just gonna call it draw star, and so we're gonna call use the T, the turtle that we have, and we're gonna set a circle, and we're gonna have the radius IR, if you remember, and let me go here. So we only want 90 degrees, and go down 90 degrees and go like four times, and we will kind of fill it in the end, but we need to create the shape first. So let's go back. So if you can see here, it's 90, and just going to the turtle will be facing up, and we want it to face down, so it's like 180, left or right, doesn't matter. Go in here, it's going to be facing this way, so we want to turn it back, and it's going to be 180, left or right, doesn't matter. So I'm just going to set turtle left 180. Let me run this and see. So we need to call it function, don't forget that. So throw star, and let's see. Yeah, so I'm just gonna insert this in a loop, and I'm just gonna use underscore because we're not using this variable. So in range 4, and I'm just gonna have this in a loop. Let's see what we get what we want. Okay, so I'm just gonna speed up my turtle, so I'm gonna go back and let's call this turtle area, and I'm just going to set the turtle speed max, which is, you can just set it to 0 and it's going to be the max. And we need to start filling. The fill is going to be the color of the turtle, so this is going to set begin fill, and after the loop we'll have a t end fill. If we run it, voila. So we want our turtle to go here again and draw another one, and if you can see from here, let me see, the position from in the next one is going to be 2R, so it's not really IR, so it's 2R because we want to keep the gap between the two. Let me close my turtle and just make some space here, and I'm just gonna lift my my turtle, so that's how, otherwise it's gonna draw something while moving. And I'm gonna just forward it because it's facing the right, so it's gonna be twice R. And I'm gonna put the turtle down, and I guess it's gonna work. Great. So for this we have the function, and we need to loop it, and until it kind of exceeds the right edge. I'm just gonna try first a loop. This range, let's say 4. See, we're not going to use a for loop anyway, but as you can see, it's working. So now we need to control when it's going to stop. So I'm just going to go back with Control Z and do all this. I'm just going to go up to our screen, and there is a method called set world coordinates. And if you're doing it, I'm just going to highlight this and press F12. This is going to take you to definition. It's always good habit to go and understand. So we see that we have like 4 arguments, and the first one is the x coordinate of lower left corner of the canvas, and similarly the LLX is the y coordinate of lower left corner. So this is the corner here, and URX is like the upper right corner. So I'm just going to close this and go to my diagram, and I'm just going to explain. I mean, I think you get it. So we have like 4 attributes. The first one are the coordinate of this corner, and the second one are the coordinate of the next one on the upper right. The x needs to be 0. The y needs to be minus wn window height, and the upper right corner coordinates needs to be, the x needs to be the extreme right, so it's wn window width, and the y is just going to be 0. So if you run the script, we should get the turtle running on the top of the screen. So yeah, this is something I did not check yet, but if you have the answer, please comment below. This leg gap here, if you can see, so even if we have the turtle starting from 0, we still have this layer gap. I found out that if I maximize the screen, minimize it and maximize it again, I get the location I expect, if you can see here. So if you have the reason for this, please share. Thank you. So I'm just going to go back, and so we need to stop this function from running once the x exceed the turtle's position exceeds the extreme right. So this is quite simple. We can just use a while, and the t coordinate, the tx coordinate is smaller than the window width, so which is a wn window width. We want this function to keep on running, and just to make sure that we're good, I'm just gonna set the like print okay, so we make sure that it's not going forever. Good way to, it's a good practice to do this. So as you can see, it's going. I will maximize and minimize again, and it's it looks fine to me. Let me go to my terminal. As you can see here, we have the OK, so looks good. So I'm just gonna close my now what we need to do is repeat this this action for every row. So let me show this again. What we need to do is repeat this until we fill the whole screen. So after we finish this, the turtle is supposed to be here, so we want it to come back here and draw again, and do this until the Y is filled. So let me go to my diagram, explain. So so like the last star, the turtle is going to be here, if you can see, and we want it to come back to this position. So if it's quite easy to see that it's the Y has to go down for an R, and the X, it just has to be to the back, which is 0. But there is a problem, because we have this little gap. The first row starts from 0, but the second row starts for like minus R, or R if you want, and we need to be careful. So I'm just gonna go back to my VS Code. I'm just gonna create my my variable. I'm just gonna call it dr, and I'm gonna set it to 0 to start with, and I need this dr to switch between 0 and minus R. So we'll loop, use the while statement for on the y coordinates, and we want it to loop while it's bigger than the window height, and we want it to keep on drawing. And I'm gonna lift the turtle, of course, lift up, and I want to set the turtle position, and either one, and the X is going to be dr, the one that's going to switch between 0 and minus R, and the Y position is just going to be the previous position minus R, so it's going to be T coordinate minus R. We want to go up. So we want an if statement for dr, so we want dr to be minus R if itself dr equals 0, and else we want it to be 0. So see, maximize, minimize, voila. See, now it's working. This is a very simple one, but I think there's a lot of things that we might learn from like moving the axis to 0, and kind of repeating the same thing, and looping while, not using the four ranges. And I'm just gonna, as a bonus, I'm gonna add some colors to this, like random colors, and see. And the other one, I'm just gonna not fill the inside, but fill the this double arches between. So I'm gonna do this first. Let me close this. So just for fun, I'm just gonna create another function similar with the fill starting in different location. So I'm just gonna call it in, since it kind of fills the inside. In. I'm gonna copy this, create another one. Out. And cut this here. Alright, so we won't actually out, so I'm just gonna set this to out and run it, and you can see it's filling the outside or the inside of the arch. So this thing is gonna look a little bit different from the previous one, if you remember. So maybe this and this. So depends of what you like. Let me wait for this, and this little gap here, like these lines here, and this is coming from the IR and R difference. And if we go here, set this depends on the taste. So I'm just gonna make it easy, and I guess we will fill the gaps or the lines not existing more. The lines will disappear basically. So here's another thing, just to have fun. I'm gonna kind of switch between this two function depending on R. So the first line row is gonna be like in, and the second one is gonna be out. So I'm just gonna use a if statement. So if dr equals to 0, draw in, else draw out. And let it tap. So this is gonna give us some interesting shape. You know that if you wanna like more drawing down here, you can just adjust the loop for the Y and add like -R here and make it longer. And okay, so okay, now the last thing, I'm just gonna add some random colors. For that, I'm gonna import random int. Import. I'm just gonna go and comment this. You know, you can do whatever you want, but I'm just gonna comment it. So and I'm gonna add just draw in, and I will just add in draw in a color every time it loops. So at the beginning of the fill, or anywhere around here, I'm just gonna call it turtle color TC, and it's gonna be tuple because it's a RGB, so it's a tuple. And I'm gonna use random int from 0 to 255, and of course you can do this like 3 times, but I rather just I prefer just use for loop, kind of, or underscore again, underscore in, sorry, range, can't even type, 3. So it's gonna give us 3 random numbers, and we're gonna use it for color. So and set the turtle color to turtle color, and let's do it for just the other outs one, and you can choose which one you want. I'm gonna run this and see, voila. Not that pretty, but you get the idea. I think this is it for this one. I'm gonna add more videos about this, some other shapes maybe, and maybe some other scripts, Python, PowerShell maybe, and we'll see where we can go. So please press the like button if you like this, and comment anything, any mistake I did, or some ideas that you want to share with me, and be nice. I will try to answer your comments, and please like if you like. This is gonna help me, encourage me to do more stuff. Thank you very much.